Radio check, Simon. Radio check.
And we're here for round 11 for the PCDC Managers League with Alain Prost on the front row together with Emerson Fittipaldi and Ayrton Senna right behind. And fourth we got Teo Fabi and Danny Sullivan and Kazuyoshi Hoshino. And we're off. We're off for round 11 into turn 1 being La Source. And around the outside tries Emerson Fittipaldi and he goes through. Emerson Fittipaldi into first, and I think Teo Fabi up into third. So 1 and 3 for Ferrari as they go up Radio and down to Kemmel Straight as Emerson Fittipaldi has gotten a nice gap there. And maybe his teammate can set up a move into Malmedy. But Prost so far fending off Fabi behind. And then right behind there comes Ayrton Senna. A bit further back we have Keiji Matsumoto with Danny Sullivan behind. Then comes Satoru Nakajima, second Lotus. Then after that we got a bit of a train with Mario Andretti leading it. Right behind him comes Kazuyoshi Hoshino, then Roberto Moreno, then comes Nelson Piquet. Then there's another little break with Mika Hakkinen leading the second train. Nigel Mansell right behind him. Then Al Answer Jr., Stefan Johansson, Michael Andretti. Take a bit of a look towards the front now as Teo Fabi has lost touch now with Prost, I think. And Senna is breathing down his neck. So initial start for Fabi was good, but now as the drivers are settled in, or getting settled in at the end of the first lap here, then I will be looking to make a move here on Fabi pretty soon. And he goes up the inside into the bus stop chicane. Let's see. Oh, Fabi tries to hold on, but he loses the rear of the car. Gets a little tap there, and actually Matsumoto goes through now. Matsumoto goes through. And, yeah, slight misjudgment there by Fabi. He does hold on to fourth position, but, yeah, let's see here as Hoshino and Mario Andretti are also side by side. And then right behind there is Roberto Moreno waiting to pounce. So the arrow's not towards the front of the field this time around. Obviously we know now that arrows were running a highly toxic fuel composition for last round and maybe, well, even perhaps the rest of the season, but that fuel compound has now been revised and been altered. They got a big fine for that. But there's a bit of a lockup there for Satoru Nakajima, and there's also someone else that is out, Michael Andretti. Don't quite know what happened, but he must have a bit of an issue. There's several people locking up into Rivage, and they go down into the straight that leads to Lecombe and then Pouhon. Or no, it just goes down to Pouhon, of course. But Jeff Blees here rounding off the grid. Meanwhile, we have Eddie Irvine, teammate, looking to get onto the back of Thierry Boutsen and Stefan Johansson. Towards the front though, we have a bit of a scrap going on now. Teo Fabi tries to come back at Keiji Matsumoto, but that Nardi is slippery in the straight line, slippery fast in a straight line, and he's gonna try up the inside. Let's see here, can he manage? Yes, he can. He goes up the inside. Teo Fabi with a very nice move, and actually Matsumoto compromises his exit and is very slow off of it, so Teo Fabi might be able to create a little bit of space here. In the meanwhile, we have Prost and Fittipaldi with about an equal gap to each other. And a big battle here between Ferrari and McLaren early on. And we'll try to keep in touch with that battle, but let's now focus on the cars behind a little bit, as Roberto Moreno has gotten past Kazuyoshi Hoshino. It might look like the arrows are now starting to stretch their wings a bit, as I believe they might have had a bit of a poor qualifying this time around. Got stuck in traffic here and there, but in the race it seems to be coming good now for the arrows, as Moreno is trying to move up. And ooh, bit of a mistake there. Bit of a wiggle there for Moreno, and he drops back into the clutches of Hoshino. And so Hoshino waiting to pounce. Nelson Piquet also back there, not doing too shabby with the Benetton. That's quite slow on the straight. Then again in 12th we have Mika Hakkinen with Al Unser Jr. behind. Unser Jr. already lost his teammate in Michael Andretti here today at the race, so only one of the Tyrrells still running. But Unser definitely looking to pounce here on the young rookie in Mika Hakkinen. They head down the straight and into Blanchimont. Here he's gonna try up the inside. That's a hard move to pull off. Can he do it? No, he slots back in behind. Got some movement down the field as there's more scraps going on. It's Hoshino and PK that are scrapping, and Moreno has now gotten some distance and he's trying to close up to Andretti, and ooh, there's a bit of a three-wide moment here. Ooh, and they touch Denny Sullivan and Satoru Nakajima. No one comes out with any damage, I don't think. Yeah, that was a scary moment there into La Source with the three of them. Now Moreno is on to the back of Sullivan. So Moreno making big strides here, and he is he's looking to get into those point paint positions as he tries up the inside. And actually issues there for the young rookie Mika Hakkinen as Moreno tries to go in through Lacombe, and he thinks he pulls off the move. Sullivan is still side by side, but Moreno pulls ahead, so great move by Moreno. Meanwhile, you look at the stranded, oh yes, you can see that suspension has completely failed for young rookie, and at the same time I think Eddie Cheever also has had an issue somewhere, so he will be out of the session. We're only 4 laps in so far, so quite a bit of mistakes from the drivers. As is that Cheever? Yes, it is. Cheever stranded in the gravel pit, and can he get it running again? Let's see, he's just waiting for the traffic to come through. Oh, he might actually be able to get the car out. Keeps on trying. I don't know if the marshals will clear him up, but ooh, he might actually get back. He's still kind of moving. He's inching closer. Come on, Cheever. Get that car out of there. Nearly there. Focus towards the front now, though, with Fittipaldi in the lead, solidly actually, and has created a bit of a gap for himself. So Ferrari in first, and Cheever has gotten back out of the gravel pit. Cheever back on the way for March. Oh, as he's very shaky there. But yeah, Cheever has gotten underway. He's a long way behind, but at least he's still in the race. Baldy doing a great job, and oh, there's more trouble. Down the line, Stefan Johansson. Smoke coming out of the back of the Arrows car. And you can see now the pack closing up on him, so he's lost a significant amount of power. And yeah, that's the engine gone, so assume Johansson will park up here somewhere. near Rivage. See if he finds the marshal post. Ooh, is there someone being held up there? Jeff Lees didn't quite recognize the danger in front of him. Here, where can Johansson pull off? He's rolling down the hill. Looking for a car to where he can put his car safely, I think. Because there's, you can see there's no gaps in the barriers off to the right there, maybe. Let's see where he takes this. There you go, so into the inside of Pouhon. That'll unfortunately be the end of the race for one of the Arrows car. Keeps going though. At this rate, he might be able to get to the other, to the pits. He's slowly coming to a stop now. Eddie Cheever will come past him pretty soon here. Emerson Fittipaldi still in the lead. See in the background there, Alain Prost doing his best to catch up. And in the third, we have Theo Fabi actually putting in a really good performance in so far here. So might be the highest up we've seen him all season. I think he's not mistaken, he had a second place somewhere, I think at the start of the season. But Senna is pounding him and getting ever closer, but it can be pretty difficult pulling off a move here at Spa. Especially because in the last sector that bus stop chicane gets very tight. It sometimes prevents the move from being made as they go through Pouhon. Senna still closing up right on the gearbox now of Theo Fabi. And let's see what Fabi does. Goes slightly defensive into Fagna. Still holding on so far, Fabi. Let's see what Senna can do on the straight here. Gonna have slipstream right behind that Ferrari, as we can also get we hear a message now that Nigel Mansell is also out of the race. Not sure what has happened to him, but another driver mistake, we assume. That is a bad day for the March team, as Cheever already had a trip to the gravel pit, and now Mansell is completely out of the race. But Fabi actually doing a really good job so far, holding on. And, we'll keep an eye on this fight as it develops. And then Keiji Matsumoto at the moment in fifth for Minardi. Putting in a good stint with Satoru Nakajima in the background there. You can also see Kazuyoshi Hoshino. Then comes Mario Andretti, Roberto Moreno, then comes Nelson Piquet, and that's actually the lap times here. So most of our drivers are in the 204s, a couple of 203s, 205s, and then the top four are putting in 202s with both Fittipaldi and Prost in the 202.1. As Piquet tries a move here on Roberto Moreno. I can't quite pull it off so far. I think they're gonna be best if they try and work together here. Nelson Piquet and Moreno. Oh, bit of a mistake there. Bit of a lockup from both drivers. Kinda made Moreno swerve into the path of Piquet, but luckily no harm done. We will wait here for another opportunity. Biggest difficulty, of course, for this Benetton is going to be getting past anywhere in the corners. It's not a problem for this Benetton car, but down the straights they don't have much to work with. So a track like Spa, that gets quite difficult. So let's see here, Piquet with some slipstream. Gonna pull to the inside. Is he able to hang it on the inside? No, he will slot in behind Moreno. Maybe move up into the bus stop chicane. No, he's not close enough, I don't think. Marino doing a great job holding on, and he's still looking to put a few clean laps in and catch up to the back of that Minardi car, the second Minardi car being Mario Andretti. And then Danny Sullivan has dropped back a little bit. I think he started in 6th or 7th. So has not had the best starts. Well, I think it's fair to say that Danny Sullivan hasn't actually impressed team boss Pedro Diaz so far, but he's actually one of the drivers that has been able to consistently scrape some points together for him in the second half of the season, because he had that second place in round 9, and then in round 7 as well he scored 2 points, so gotten a total tally of 8 points so far, which is not too shabby. 13th in the driver standings so far. Got an interesting camera here on board with Teo Fabi. He's now got a little bit of a gap to Senna. I don't know if that is from a defensive move. Senna is dropping off now a little bit. Meanwhile, we still have Cheever trying to make his way up. At least there's one car still running for Cozy. Fittipaldi's still holding on, and he's managing that gap to cross pretty well as Rene Arnoux tries a move on Alan Sir Jr. Alan Sir Jr. goes over the curb, nearly loses the rear, and then it's all traction now. Rene Arnoux trying to get past, but he can't. And then there's Bernd Schneider. Obviously, we know Zach Speed 9th right now in the constructors, and to be honest, we didn't expect them to be anywhere. Usually, a team that really struggles with pre-qualifying, but they've really come good this season, and they've already managed to scrape together 8 points so far, which is actually pretty impressive for a team like Zach Speed. And they're outperforming March and Williams at this point in time, so things are definitely looking up for Zach Speed. We're actually trailing right behind Tyrrell and Benetton. Benetton only 3 points ahead, Tyrrell 2, so one good result here for Zach Speed can move them up 3 positions, or 2 positions at once, I should say, in the constructors. Meanwhile, we have Teo Fabi still with Ayrton Senna behind, as you can see here from the top-down camera. Senna now getting past, actually. So move for 3rd position there by Senna. And Fabi is actually going to try and come back here on the inside. Oh, Senna squeezes him. Go very slowly, Senna over that curb. Once again, like we've seen a lot of the drivers do. Fabi is right behind him, and he might try to challenge into the first turn, but actually bit of distance there now for Senna. Let's see if we get some good traction out of La Source and then up to Radion. Fabi, it's now a case of trying to hold on to that slipstream, because else I think Senna might be unleashed here. It sure looks that way now. You clearly see the gap starting to form. Now we have Keiji Matsumoto closing up to the back of Teo Fabi as well. Meanwhile, we're here on board with Alain Prost. Looking to close up. Oh, big mistake from Rene Arnoux. Oh, he goes into the barrier. Can he keep it running? Oh, he rejoins. Let's hope no one... Okay, big slowdown there from Jeff Lees. That might be considered a dangerous rejoin there by Rene Arnoux. We'll have to see about that, but Jeff Lees now challenging position, and he's gonna try and get past. That's the worst time to switch the camera, but Lees now sticking it on the inside. And it's now passed as Rene Arnoux drops back. Oh, very unfortunate there for the Frenchman. Eddie Cheever still trying to get up as best as he can. Crossed now within a second of Emerson. See here, it is about a second. Emerson Fittipaldi has been managing that gap quite well so far, so no real reason for Ferrari to panic. And definitely been a fine job at managing Prost behind him. And then there's massive gap to Senna behind and the rest of the field pretty much, but let's see what kind of time Senna is setting. So he's not too far off. He could be running, could possibly be running a higher fuel load. And both Prost and Emerson can also be running different fuel loads to each other, so we'll have to see how that plays out when the pit stop phase comes around. We're already a fourth of the way here in the Spa Grand Prix. 4 retirements so far. 2 being reliability, 2 being driver errors. But a big battle now between Ferrari and McLaren. It's the battle we long for throughout the season. We haven't seen too much in terms of battling between these two, as Prost has honestly kind of run away with the championship. He's 24 points ahead of Emerson Fittipaldi, so it doesn't take much anymore for Prost to secure the championship, but there's still hope for Emerson Fittipaldi. And then there's a, I believe, a 19-point difference in the constructors between Ferrari and McLaren. But obviously, if there's a good result here for Ferrari, maybe first place and a couple extra points picked up for the second driver in Fabi, that would be really good for Ferrari and put him right back into contention, possibly. And obviously we've seen that McLaren has had a pretty good run so far as Piquet goes up the inside of Moreno again. Moreno over that curve once again, and Sullivan now trying to take advantage as well. There's some constant shuffling going on there between the mid-pack runners. Yeah, one of the more interesting fights as well. It's kind of the best of the rest role, which is between Minardi and Ligier at the moment. They're on 33 and 32 points respectively. So that's also an interesting one to keep in mind, as for the moment there's only one Minardi in the points. There's no Ligiers in the points, as Oshino is just outside of them. And then obviously we have kind of the chasing parties in Arrows, Benetton, and Tyrrell. They're trying to catch up to the Lotus in 5th with 23 points. Here, Alonso Jr. That Marlboro helmet. Here, as I think Rene Arnoux has caught up again to the back of Lees. And meanwhile now Senna has created that gap to Theo Fabi, but I don't think he has enough pace to actually catch up to Prost or Fittipaldi, so that won't be happening anytime soon. There's quite a bit of field spread at the moment, but we do have Thierry Boutsen catching up to Al Unser Jr. Obviously, no bit of a rivalry here, well, at least I think so, between the two brothers being Domi and Eddie. And their drivers sure are duking it out on track here. Not for any points, but maybe it's for bragging rights at the dinner table. Boutsen really trying his best here. I don't know if he has slipstream. He does seem to be closing up on that straightaway. And yeah, like mentioned before, Zach Speed really overperforming this season. A lucky result, or a lucky result in the next couple of races could, yeah, really put them in contention with Benetton and Tyrrell in front of them. So far, just running down in 13th is Boutsen, and then Bernd Schneider right behind with in 14th. Meanwhile, we have Roberto Moreno trying to catch up back to Danny Sullivan. We now have Mario Andretti taking a bit of distance from Nelson Piquet behind. Obviously, as it stands, looking quite alright for Ferrari, should they finish the race, because we do know they have some reliability issues and have struggled to finish a lot of races. Fittipaldi has been in quite good positions and even winning positions at some points, but yeah, reliability really the letdown. I think Ferrari has already fired their reliability department 5 times over and then rehired them for some reason. Probably not the way to go, but so far in this race, the Ferrari looking to run pretty well. Again, Fittipaldi just managing that gap to about a second or Prost behind, and see him checking the mirrors once in a while, but just focusing on his own race. And well, the biggest thing should obviously be getting that Ferrari till the end of the race. As he heads down the start-finish straight to start lap 15. Let's again take a look at the lap times here. Last times. So we have an interesting one there in the likes of Nelson Piquet. Piquet actually lapping quite a bit faster than the cars around him, and he really has the pace together with Danny Sullivan, I believe, to catch up towards the front of the field and into the points. But definitely seems like overtaking is not the easiest on this track. Only really this opportunity down this first straight after Radio. And after that, not too much opportunities anymore. Meanwhile, Teo Fabi still holding on to fourth here with Keiji Matsumoto close behind. So Matsumoto could hop up one position. That would be tremendous for Minardi as they're looking to separate themselves from Ligier in the standings. Mario Andretti now in 8th. Let's see if he can catch up a bit later on. And some fresh tires, different fuel loads. Could all be factors. The Tyrrell's not running that great here, I don't think. Oh, and someone's off, Danny Sullivan. Danny Sullivan has made a mistake and he's in the gravel. Oh, nearly collides there with Roberto Moreno, but Sullivan goes into the gravel and he will drop back quite a bit. Down into 11th. Yeah, just as we were talking about him a while back there, about him, he's picking up some points. Oh! Big trouble for Alain Prost. He's reported over the radio that he feels feels something strange about the car. It's coming from one of the wheels, he thinks. And we'll see now. He's slowing down tremendously. Oh, is this the start of woes for McLaren? This is one of the few times we've seen them in trouble. And let's see now as hand over fist, Prost is losing time. He seems to be just trying to manage that car back to the pits, but he's going very, very slow. This could be incredible for Ferrari if Prost does drop out here, and he's slowing. He's slowing even more. I don't think he's gonna make it to the pits. Very slow, he pulls off. Alain Prost is out of the Belgian Grand Prix. That is big news, as McLaren has been dominating throughout the season, but now at some point something was gonna go wrong for them, and this is the first time we've seen them vulnerable. And yeah, that is Alain Prost out of the Belgian Grand Prix, and it means Fittipaldi now has a comfortable lead over Ayrton Senna in 2nd and Teo Fabi in 3rd. A little bit of a lockup there by Mario Andretti, which allows Nelson Piquet to close up, but it does mean that Keiji Matsumoto is now in 4th position, with Nakajima for Lotus in 5th and Hoshino now in 6th for Ligier. Mario Andretti now fending off Nelson Piquet. Here, can Piquet try something? It doesn't really seem like it. Is he gonna pull alongside? He will try, but let's see here into the chicane, and yes, Piquet gets the move done. No, he does not. He runs wide on the exit, and Andretti comes through again, so Piquet will have to try again, and all that work for nothing. You see Prost there dropping down the standings, and unfortunate for McLaren, good for Ferrari. And Mario Andretti now on the straightaway. This is where he'll be able to gain quite a bit of distance over the Benetton behind. We know it's a bit of the battle of extremes. We've actually seen that Benetton has been doing quite well when it comes to cornering ability, so Benetton really investing in probably some aero. We've seen some new bits come on that car here and there, so they've decided to focus their strengths in different areas of the cars compared to some of the other cars. And we can see now really in these high-speed corners where a lot of downforce is required, you can just see that Benetton closing up. So definitely not out of the running here, Benetton, and they look pretty competitive, but it's obviously that you're can be in big trouble sometimes in the race when the opposition just has more straight line speed. It's all good and well having speed in the corners, but if you can't get past your opponent on the straightaways or keep them behind on the straightaways, then it's very tough to run your own race, and you're kind of dependent on how the others run their race. Because PK will just be waiting for mistakes, and will he try again? He's gonna try up the inside again. Can he hold it this time? Goes pretty well again, and yes, PK goes well now, and Andretti makes a mistake, which also allows Moreno to come into the fight, and PK is now somewhat unleashed. Could actually see him start to make up some ground now to Hoshino and to those points paying positions. But Sullivan has in the meanwhile gotten back past Moreno as they're fighting for 9th and 10th. As we a bit of a three-way fight here over 8th position, Andretti leading this little train of 3. Sullivan definitely closing up with Moreno. Know that Minardi is hard to beat in the straight. In the corners though, the McLaren and Arrows are definitely catching up. Now Sullivan getting ever closer. Expecting that we'll see a move here at the end of this lap. Oh, bit of a lockup there for Sullivan. It's a tiny bit of distance for Andretti, and actually Sullivan now under attack by Moreno. Meanwhile, Fabi comfortably in P3. Matsumoto is trying to close up. Fabi so far running a good race as well. Both of the Ferraris coming pretty good. Eddie Cheever a lap behind, but still going. Good for March. This man, Fittipaldi, running at the front, 20 or so seconds behind, or in front of Senna, I should say. So let's hope Ferrari can manage their race until the end. Be good here. If Sullivan stays out of the points, then Ferrari can make big gains here towards McLaren. They'll still need another one of these results to fully close up, but everything is possible. And we've obviously seen for McLaren, the big threat really is cross the P's out of the race, then McLaren will probably struggle to score some points. So far, nearly entering lap 20 here. Aldi just manage this race, bring the car home. Obviously, could be a big result here for Ayrton Senna as well. Could allow Lotus to close up to the to Minardi and Ligier. Meanwhile, Nelson Piquet, let's see what his last time was. So yeah, Piquet now doing a 2:03.7, 3/10 faster than Hoshino in front of him. So Piquet is definitely on for some points here today if he keeps up these kind of lap times. The best time today coming from Fittipaldi. So not only looking good on race pace, but his one lap pace is definitely there as well today in that Ferrari. And obviously, Ferrari mourning right now over the death of the creator, Enzo Ferrari. Sadly passed away very recently, and wouldn't it be beautiful if they managed to get a win here today? Meanwhile, here we have Sullivan still latching onto the back of Moreno. Seems like those two are kind of swapping around places here and there. Oh, issues now. Issues for Roberto Moreno. And at the same time, Bernd Schneider with a transmission failure. He's pulling off to the side. Moreno will be able to get back to the pits. I believe maybe too far. Oh no, he's going very slowly. He might not make it. No, Moreno pulls off. Moreno pulls off, and there's loads of issues. Now we have Eddie Cheever. Eddie Cheever with smoke billowing out of the back of that March car, so we won't see any of the Leighton House marches finishing today, as there's just, oh man, 3 reliability failures on the same lap is huge. But I imagine Cheever will be pulling off here at any point. Yeah, there goes the engine. Hope doesn't get in the way of anyone. Now we hear someone slowing down. Ooh, is that Fittipaldi? Yeah, Fittipaldi does a good job avoiding that slow-moving March in front of him. Lost him a bit of time, but in the grand scheme of things, that's way better than ending his race right there. Only would have lost him about a second or so, and he has a lot of margin to play with, as we can see. It's only now that the Ayrton Senna is coming past there. Shouldn't be too much of an issue, but 7 retirements. A lot of reliability issues here at Spa. Fabi still running in 3rd, managing that gap to Eiji Matsumoto, although Matsumoto seems perhaps slightly faster, because he's about a second and a half behind. Slowly closing up. Fittipaldi just managing his race far enough behind, so is Leo Fabi. So at the moment, podium positions for Ferrari, but Matsumoto definitely slowly closing up, as he's almost within a second now, and we'll follow Matsumoto around here on board for a little while. See now the first pit calls are coming in. Possible undercut situation there from Boutsen on Alonso Jr. for Tyrrell. Boutsen comes in first out of all the remaining runners. I think time on the straights, not so much through the corners. As we head now down to Stavridel, onto the straight to Blanchardon. Obviously, drivers will be running with pretty low fuel loads now, worn tires. So that's a itchy combination, to say the least. Yeah, we can definitely see Matsumoto closing up on the straightaway. It's Theo Fabi gaining the most through the corners compared to the Minardi. Here on traction, who comes out of this corner pretty well. Fabi just seems to be on the throttle a little bit earlier. Oh no! No, disaster!
Try and get back.
You can't make this up, but there seems to be a similar situation going on now for Emerson Fittipaldi. Let's see for Ferrari here. It's a long way to go. Fittipaldi hasn't lost too much speed yet, but he's slowing. Oh, he gets to Davolo. He might be able to make it back. Here, he's down to straightaway. It's only a little bit to go, and he can go straight into the pits. It's a straight pit road here. Oh my goodness, he's really struggling with that wheel. He's slowing down massively. But he is inside the pit window. Let's see, can he get back to the pits? Yes, Emerson Fittipaldi gets back to the pits with that loose wheel. And he'll make a somewhat scheduled pit stop now. He's inside the pit window. So very lucky here for Ferrari that Fittipaldi managed to nurse that car back to the pits. And let's see now, as the crew work on it, how long is it gonna take? PK now with a throttle issue, fueling up the car a bit. Senna now goes into the lead, obviously still has to pit, but Emerson Fittipaldi comes away from that scotch-free and not too far behind Senna, who still has to pit. So very, very lucky for Ferrari there. In the meanwhile, we have PK now with a throttle issue, dropping back a little bit as he was just starting to make some ground. He'll also come in for a pit and resolve that issue, I think. See if we can follow him in. Yes, he does come into the pit. So, a bit lucky there for Benetton as well. But in the meanwhile, we also see Roberto Moreno has... Oh yeah, I think we already reported that he pulled over with the electrical issue. But a lot of scheduled pit stops and then some pit stops resolving some issues. Danny Sullivan there. 10.5 seconds. Nelson Piquet 10.1. 10.7 for Al Unser Jr. They'll now be all on their way again as Fittipaldi now making massive inroads to Ayrton Senna. And he'll be glad that he resolved that issue in the pits, and well, spectacular job by him to nurse that car back to the pits. And you know, at some point, I guess Ferrari does deserve a little bit of luck, as they've been quite unfortunate throughout the season. And well, I believe manager Machihila, he'll be delighted as well that his driver managed to get back to the pits, as he's well, him and Pedro Diaz have been going at it in the paddock, and we've seen them shout abuse at each other, throw all kinds of hand gestures up, and well, at the moment it seems to be going towards Ferrari for this race, but obviously still a long way to go. Give a bit of a tally. I think yeah, Fabi still has to pit. Eiji Matsumoto right behind Fabi, but again, Fabi managing that gap to about a second and a half to Matsumoto, so not too big of a threat. Then we have Nakajima, then comes Hoshino. And I think those running in the points are about a pit stop clear of the cars behind. So it'll be interesting to see which of them has the pace and if they can hold on till the end. As our new now, oh, went on here. Eddie Irvine with a bit of a mistake, I think. So Irvine, slight mistake there, running in P13. Boutsen still going, again, still on the back of Alonso Jr. in front of him. They've been kind of going at it for a lot of the race. Alonso Jr. seems to be staying ahead quite well now. Teo Fabi. Managing that gap as we switch back to Hunter Jr. on board with him. Pretty smooth now. Emerson Fittipaldi in the meanwhile has caught up to the back of Senna. Senna still not pit, so Senna going for a very long so far as Hoshino gets his pit call now. So Hoshino actually, on if he gets on some fresh tires, he could possibly undercut the Minardi in front of him. Only about 2 seconds or so in it. Could even surprise. Well, it's the Lotus, I think, in front of him with Nakajima, and could surprise the Minardi in front of him. That's about a 5-second difference. Just depends when the likes of Minardi and Lotus are gonna pit. Let's see if Fittipaldi now can navigate past Senna. Obviously, Senna doesn't have to move out of the way. Probably be better for his race if he did. He'll lose the least amount of time, and we'll see now. Well, he should be able to make a fairly straightforward move here. He's on fresh tires. Gonna be quite a bit faster. We've seen him close up about 2 seconds a lap, I believe, at this point. It would be kind of silly for Senna to keep fighting this. And they're still kind of side by side. Let's see. Will not be able to pull off that move yet, as Nakajima now reporting issues. At the same time, Hoshino coming in for his pit, so Nakajima makes it back. He can do a scheduled pit stop. He still had to make a pit stop, so he will be fine. He's gonna lose a bit of time to Hoshino, but nothing too dramatic. As Senna now gets the call as well to come into the pits. So that will drop back Nakajima to 6th position. We still see the likes of Mario Andretti, Eddie Irvine, and Jeff Lees have pits. Eno now comes in as well. Let's see comparatively how fast these pit stops are between the two teams. Oh, very fast there for Nakajima. Can he actually go till the end? Is what I wonder. That seemed like a very short stop, but I guess he doesn't need too much fuel. We'll see now how they compare. That was a pretty slow pit stop comparatively for the Ligier squad. We now have Matsumoto still trying his best to catch up to that Ferrari, and Ayrton Senna now has gotten left behind by Emerson Fittipaldi. See now, Bobby as well. Teo Fabi still yet to make a pit stop, but he'll be running a very low fuel load, very fresh tires towards the end here, so he'll be able to push all the way till the end, put in qualifying lap after qualifying lap. And we'll keep an eye now on Ayrton Senna. We can get a bit of a reference of how long these pit stops are going to take for those low fuel runs. And there he comes in. They obviously also a very long pit lane here at Spa. See, coming in now, waiting on a little bit of fuel. When actually interesting, pretty long pit stop there, 8.9 seconds, so they filled up the car, but Bobby does now get the pit call. That's for the next lap around then. Yeah, very long stint here for Teo Fabi as he comes out just behind Ayrton Senna, and then Keiji Matsumoto is in right now. So let's see if that undercut works for Matsumoto with the single lap undercut. Further back, we have Eddie Irvine, who's also coming into the pit. Andy Sullivan out running in 8th. The only remaining McLaren. And a bit of no man's land at this point in time. Mario Andretti get the pit as well. Sticking it out even longer than Bobby and Irvine. Irvine now gets the call, and Lee still doesn't have a call for the pits. So Williams are really long here today. We now have a little bit of a scrap going on between Jeff Lees and Rene Arnoux for 12th position, that is. Oh, Jeff Lees just about staying ahead, doing enough there to stay ahead of Rene Arnoux. And oh, good call for Bobby. Okay, no. Just a little message disappearing, I think. Irvine just managing the car here for Williams. Not fighting for any points. The last running car on the grid, and if he can just get that car to the end. Nakajima now in 5th. Both of the Lotuses also in the point, so it's obviously good to see for them, as they'll be looking to close that gap to Ligier and Minardi in front. Also, take a look at what kind of lap times we're seeing now here with all those fresh tires being mounted. But at 2:01.7 by Fabi, which is blistering pace. Still yet to see what the likes of Senna can do on those fresh tires. 2014, so yeah, Teo Fabi actually doing pretty well, not too far off of Senna's pace, so pretty respectable. More issues now, more issues for the second McLaren. It's all falling apart here for McLaren at the Belgian Grand Prix. And Sullivan now will also possibly drop out of this race. Smoke coming out of the back of that McLaren. And the Honda power unit is being defeated by the Belgian hills. Sullivan now slowing down. He's still kind of going. The engine's still on. Expected to cut out at any point here. Maybe he'll be able to recover to the pits. I've not seen that happen. I've only seen it happen once, I think, this season, where someone recovered an engine issue back to the pits. Sullivan not doing a bad job here as he's now heading through Stavolo to Blanchimont. He might actually make it back to the pits. Oh no! He's coasting now, he's coasting. Can he make it? Oh, it's not gonna be enough, is it? Still rolling. No, not gonna make it. So that second McLaren coming to a halt now, and unfortunately it's a double DNF today here for McLaren. As you can see, Boutsen coming through there. Mario Andretti now in the pits, and the marshals will try to clear up this McLaren. Pushed him now, as you can see, René Arnoux now coming through. Irvine, then finally will be Jeff Lees here in a couple seconds, but yeah, very unfortunate for McLaren, but it had to happen at some point, I believe. He's still in the lead, and we can actually see last time now, Ayrton Senna 201.2, about nearly a second faster than Emerson. Ayrton really pushing his pace right now, trying to make up that difference. You know, as well, that the fastest lap has gone to Senna. The 201.2 with nearly 7/10. Well, actually is just shy of 7/10. Clear of the second fastest lap by Emerson Fittipaldi. Not too shabby by Senna. And so far, after that little hiccup for Ferrari, it does seem that Fittipaldi is now nursing the car a bit more. He has about 12 laps to go, but he does have a very hungry Senna chasing behind him. Can't take it too easy, but obviously he has to get this car to the end. In the meanwhile, PK is also trying to make up that time that he lost from that issue he had. And that'll be quite difficult. He's more than 20 seconds behind Oshino in front, I believe. Here comes Al Unser Jr. in 9th at the moment for Tyrrell, so not too bad for the Tyrrell squad. That is Senna coming out of Lavage, or La Source, sorry. Harden's at the other end. Meanwhile, Fabi still just maintaining that gap to Matsumoto behind. You can also see Nakajima there in the back, but they're all lapping pretty similar laps in terms of pace. And one man that is flying at the moment is Ayrton Senna, slowly closing up to Emerson Fittipaldi, but I don't think it'll be enough at this rate, even though he is gaining almost a second a lap. Fittipaldi now catching up to the back of, I believe that is Jeff Lees. About to lap the Williams. You know, camera on board with Senna, pushing all out. Getting on board for Fittipaldi, and about 10 laps to go, 20 or so minutes of racing as our new slowly trying to make up ground. Nelson Piquet for Benetton just outside of the points. He'll obviously be looking to pounce on any opportunity he gets. Jeff Lees in the Williams, also just trying to manage that machine and take it to the end of the race. Both of the Williams cars still running though, I believe, right? Yeah, so we have Eddie Irvine and Jeff Lee, so you're managing the car just fine. Mario Andretti down in 8th in a bit of no man's land. He's right in between PK and Junior, but I'll answer Junior, but doesn't look like he's gonna be making up any positions. At the moment, I think the closest fight, if you could call it that, is between Teo Fabi and Matsumoto, but that gap is kind of staying similar to each other. Seems like Fabi is gaining just about enough time through the corners to stay ahead of Matsumoto. And Matsumoto obviously not being able to use slipstream as he's not close enough. Else that probably make his overtake quite a bit easier. Meanwhile, we still have Hartmann making up ground, but only about 14 seconds behind, but definitely not gaining at the rate of time he should be gaining. Somewhere. What was that? Mario Andretti? That's how, yes it is. Mario Andretti for Minardi has dropped out. I think it was a driver's mistake. Driver error, because there's no message for any defects on the car, anything reliability wise, so it must have just been a mistake by Mario Andretti, obviously. Bobbying quite taxing, all those high-speed corners, lots of G-forces pushing you around. Maybe that older age isn't doing him much good on that front. Mario Andretti still in 4th position point in time, but with this retirement that could very easily change. Bobby still just managing to get Matsumoto. Oh, and then he shoots further back. Oh yeah, one of the Williamses now. The ghost, but actually Irvine might be able to keep it running if he gets to the pits here. So if he actually is aware and if he pulls into the pits. Can't see Emerson Fittipaldi closing up to the back. Oh, it's a big engine fire. Might actually hinder Fittipaldi here a bit. Fittipaldi does try to get past, but oh, gets held up quite a bit actually. There's another car there. Oh, this is a dangerous situation. Nearly takes out his teammate. Could really be pulling off here, Eddie Irvine. There goes the engine, and he just has to pull off now and get out of that that burning vehicle. There's more cars coming here. We have Senna now coming past. Find a safe spot and park it up, please. He goes now. Off to the side. Now he has to get the hell out of that car. Meanwhile, Senna 10 or so seconds behind now. And actually gains loads of time. through that kerfuffle there between Fittipaldi and Irvine, which was quite dangerous. Racing strong. He's well, it might actually quite close here at the end. I don't think he's losing quite a second per lap, so while Senna will be close at the end, I don't think he'll be close enough. And he obviously still has to get past the back markers. Biggest one there being Jeff Lee, so he'll probably lose a bit of time there. Yeah, at the moment it's one for Ferrari, then P2 for the Lotus Senna. Third comes Fabi, then is Keiji Matsumoto, then comes Nakajino, and sixth for Hoshino. So actually 3 Japanese drivers in the top 6 here today so far. In Matsumoto, Nakajima, and Hoshino, so the Japanese drivers really showing up today. I'm sure their fellow countrymen will be very proud. Them performing in the way they do. Now it's again, look at those last lap times. Yeah, about 6 or so tenths faster is Senna, so that definitely won't be enough to catch up to Fittipaldi. Meanwhile, we have René Arnoux with some trouble. He will probably be able to get back to the pits, but see actually how much time this is going to cost him. One of those wheels must have not been attached properly during that last pit stop, so very short pit stop, only the tires. And René Arnoux now drops back to the back of the field. As you can see there, Jeff Lee's coming through. But Arnoux now, low fuel load. Freshest tires off of anyone off the grid, he'll definitely be catching up to Lease again by the end of this race. Sorry for some of the silence here towards the end of the race. It's pretty late where I am, and currently to keep the eyes open at the moment. The race has kind of petered out. Now we do have Senna still chasing down Fittipaldi, or trying to at least, but I don't think he'll have enough pace to make that up. We also have somewhat of a close fight between Matsumoto and Bobby, but you can see the gap. It's not exactly tiny. It doesn't seem at the moment Matsumoto is able to put up a good challenge. Still running. Half of the field has dropped out. Not all of them because of reliability, some driver mistakes, but and definitely quite a bit of attrition, but we've seen worse rounds. Nakajima still trying his best to catch up to the back of Matsumoto. Let's actually compare their lap times. Last time for Nakajima was a 202.452 and Matsumoto was a 202.490, so very little to nothing in between these drivers. Oh, and someone's gone off. That's Jeff Leese. Dear Jeff Leese has gone off the track with a puncture, and now here is Boutsen as well. It's all happening in the last couple of laps here now. Boutsen also with an engine failure, and he's pulling off to the side now as Fittipaldi comes through there. And a bit later we'll probably see Senna. There he is. Yeah, that's a pretty big retirement there for Boutsen. Top 6 remains the same. Senna has also lost a little bit of time there, I think, probably with those cars pulling off. They've gotten a bit distracted, or might have been some debris on the road, and she lost a bit of time there on that lap. Bobby still just managing, has actually pulled a bit of a bigger gap now, just Matsumoto behind, which is going to make it a lot more comfortable for him. PK now still trying to drag his car up, but be a bit of a lost effort, I think. Fair sometimes. PK doing 203s. Cars in front of him are just straight up faster, I think. 9 runners remaining, so a lot of attrition here today at Spa. Obviously, big track. Oh! Last moment here. Engine issue for Oshino, and he's not aware of it. He's not going to pull into the pits. He's not aware that he has an engine issue right now. Surely he's lost some power, but that's going to be Elige out of the race, I think. So again, everything just happening at the end of the Belgian Grand Prix here. He now goes up to Raniol, but surely this engine is about to give up here at any point, any second. That does mean Oshino doesn't make it. He's been going, oh, I was just gonna say he's been making it pretty long here, but finally the engine has cut out. That does mean Nelson Piquet is gonna move it into the points, so I believe Raxter, team manager for Benetton, is gonna be pretty delighted as he's come in now, and he'll have 2-point scoring races on his name already. Very decent, of course, seeing the situation Benetton was in only a couple races ago. Yeah, we won't make it a three-way Japanese top 6 anymore, but Piquet is there to take over from Hoshino. Well, now we do have first Fittipaldi going through Punhon down into Bagna. 43. Senna towards the end here got pretty close, but it's not gonna be close enough, I don't think. Senna. Now coming up to Pouhon. Or Blanchiment, I'm sorry. Those mixed up at some points. And down into the bus stop chicane. Nelson Fittipaldi will start his last lap of the Grand Prix. So here goes Fittipaldi on lap 44 of 44. It looks like Ferrari is heading for a victory here today. Been quite a drought for the Scuderia. It has been since round 7 that they've managed to win, and good on their way here to add another win to the tally. And most importantly, they'll get get double points. It'll be 9 points for Fittipaldi and 4 for Fabi if he does finish in 3rd. It'll be a nice 13-point gain, which will put him on 53 points. At that point in time, there'll be 53 points. There'll be 11 points behind the leader McLaren. Fittipaldi will be about 15 points behind on Prost in the Drivers' Championship, I believe. Last round there through Pouhon, down into Fagna. And we are going to go through Stavolo. After that, we we take the right-hander onto the long straight, and then we have that slide kink to the left, Blanchiment. So through Blanchiment he goes down into the bus stop chicane. White flags are waving. Coming out of the last corner, we have Emerson Fittipaldi for Ferrari taking the victory here at round 11.
Fantastic drive, great job.
And there comes MP2 Ayrton Senna. Great drive for Lotus as well. They'll be very happy. Over Lotus will be delighted, I think. Both of his drivers finishing here today, I think. And then third position for Ferrari. So two of the Ferraris on the podium here today. And that's a very good day for the Scuderia. And then in fourth position comes Matsumoto for Minardi. Very decent as well for them. Then comes Nakajima, the second Lotus. And after that, we'll see Nelson Piquet. He's still quite a ways back. So just heading down the main straight now into Blanchiment, and he'll pick up the last point scoring position. We only end up with 7 remaining runners. A lot of transmission engine issues here today. But Nelson Piquet does come across the line in 6th, and we'll pick up that last point. Now we have Unser Jr. just outside the points, still 7th though, which is a great result and gives some financial benefits. He'll go for the last round through Blanchiment. And a last time through the bus stop chicane. There he goes. Across the line goes Al Unser Jr. That'll be the race over. Wonderful result for Ferrari, which will bring them closer into the fight with McLaren again, and then it's a bit of a toss between the midfield races. We obviously have Lotus there, we have Benetton, we have Minardi down there for 4th, 5th, and 6th. So let's take a quick look here at the full race results. So Emerson Fittipaldi in first for Ferrari, then comes Ayrton Senna in the Lotus. After that, Teo Fabi for Ferrari, so double podium for Ferrari. Keiji Matsumoto in the Minardi in 4th, Nakajima in 5th. Piquet taking the last point for the day, and then comes Al Unser Jr. in 7th. Rene Arnoux, late dropout, so for the same for Kazuyoshi Hoshino. Boutsen out with an engine issue. Jeff Lees 11th with a puncture. 12th, Eddie Irvine, also engine issue. Mario Andretti with a DNF for Minardi after a driver mistake, I think. And then Danny Sullivan for McLaren, also an engine issue. Moreno with electrical issues. Transmission failure for Ben Schneider in 16th, 17th of March, engine issues as well. Then the big story, of course, Alain Prost with that loose wheel didn't manage to drag it back to the pits in 18th. Then comes Nigel Mansell, and then after that is Stefan Johansson. And obviously Mika Hakkinen 21st with a suspension failure, and then another DNF for Michael Andretti. That being said, that was round 11. Very exciting. Tosses up the scores a little bit again, and we will see you in the next one. Goodbye.